through the presentation. And make sure that you put your company email, and if this is the first time logging in, you will be prompted to create your own password. The temporary password should be set at pass123. And once you've done that, once you've successfully logged in, if you could please raise your hand in the GoToMeeting toolbar, so that way I know that that you're able to log in and make sure that you're able to access Mortgage Coach Ed. So if you could please raise your hands so I know that you're able to follow along, that would be great. Okay, good. We got Mike. Got a few more people in the class. Again, this is it's a beginner class, and they're usually on Fridays, but we switched them to Mondays. Now it looks like let's see here, Elisa and Sheena. Can you, if you want to type something in the questionnaire, if you're having difficulty in logging in, or if you don't have a login, if you could let me know, that would be helpful. But we do want you to actually be able to build the reports. That would be great. Okay, so it looks like Elisa needs one, and Sheena is logging in right now. Okay, so we'll just take a few more minutes to make sure everybody can log in. And you know, while we're doing that, we can go ahead and talk a little bit about. Well, you know what? I'll let you log in and see how much. And if you could just raise your hand when you do get in, that would be great. Thanks for being patient, Mike. Just want to make sure that everybody's able to log in and follow along. And when you do get logged in, just go ahead and raise your hand so I can make sure that everybody's ready to go. Okay, username. Username, it will be your email address. And the password, if this is the first time logging in, it will be pass123. So email address for the user, and then pass123. Okay, Sheena's in. Okay, and if Lisa, if you're in, if you could raise your hand in the GoToMeeting. Ah, perfect. Okay, good. We're all in. All right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Mortgage Coach Edge. Okay, why are you using this particular product? You know, what's the why? If you've got to this point, you basically realize that you want to differentiate yourself from your competition. You want to be able to provide your borrowers with a clear professional presentation that's basically going to wow them. Why would you want to have to do business, you know, the old way with handing them just a fee sheet and being able to, or expecting them to be able to get all the information off of that they truly need to get. So that's why you're using the Mortgage Coach Edge, and that's, you know, we appreciate you using the product. We appreciate you choosing to be different. In using the Mortgage Coach Edge product, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and build the presentation, but we'll also show you how to be able to deliver the presentation, and also a little bit about another product that comes along with your membership is the Rate Watch. Out of curiosity, has anybody looked at the Rate Watch along with the Mortgage Coach? If you could raise your hand. Okay, Mike has. Okay, Sheena and Lisa. Okay, we'll make sure that you get a chance to review that, and also, you know, possibly how to download it to your mobile device, and also for your Mortgage Coach Edge to be downloaded to that. But let's go ahead and get started with the presentation today. And again, the whole goal is that you're going to be able to follow along with me in going through in building your first TCA, and then we'd like you to send it to us at support@mortgagecoach.com, and I'll explain how to do that here in a second, all right, in a little bit, I should say. So everybody's in. I'm going to go ahead and jump in myself. Okay, all right, so when you're using the Mortgage Coach, when you first log in, everybody should be at this area right here, and there's two areas that you're going to be spending the majority of your time in. Primarily, this would be the area here in the recent clients, because this is where you're going to be working with your different borrowers. Down in the recent partners area, you might wonder, okay, well, what is a partner? A partner would basically be a realtor, an attorney, a financial advisor. Those are some examples of people that could give you referral business. So you definitely want to keep them as a partner in your Mortgage Coach Edge, and you're going to be able to build different presentations for them, as you will be building presentations for your customers as well. You could share those presentations with your different partners, keep them in the loop as far as what information is being shared with your mutual client. It's a great way for you to be able to communicate both with your borrowers and with your realtor partners, and it saves a lot of questions or a lot of time with calls. If you're doing a good job building these reports, providing a video, you'll be amazed at how much time that you're going to save yourself, because of how clearly you're able to convey the message that you're hoping to with the Mortgage Coach Edge and the video feature. So what we're going to do is, let me just spend a little bit of time here and show you a little bit, say maybe about some housekeeping, how to keep yourself, how to locate a particular client, how to keep yourself organized. Organization is a big key in being able to locate information quickly. So you want to keep yourself organized, and what I would suggest, I'm going to go ahead and click on the view all here, and I'm going to go do a search. This particular button that I just clicked would be a way for you to be able to search the different clients that you're going to be working for. You can search with your first name, last name, if you have a friendly name for them, the email, maybe a particular property address. If you don't recall anything, you can always hit the search button, and it will bring up all the different reports that you built for different people. And these would be, like I said, your clients here, okay? And you might build many different reports for a particular client throughout the lifetime of doing business with them. So for example, John Smith right here, you might have like this is going to be the initial report that you're gonna build for them, but you might build after the initial one, they might choose a particular program, a loan that they want to do business with you. You would build that particular report. You could build an annual review. Maybe they're going to buy a second home, but that way you keep all their information under their name here, and you'll have a list of all the different reports. Because I do a lot of different presentations with the training programs, these are the different reports that I've built. And it's just a way of keeping myself organized. So definitely take the time to come up with a strategy for keeping yourself organized. Everybody keeps things organized in a different way. You definitely want to come up with your way that makes it work. So let me go ahead and move on. And what we're going to do is build our first TCA report. TCA stands for Total Cost Analysis. So I'm going to click on New Client. If everybody else could do that as well, go ahead and click on New Client, and you're going to go to the very first screen of the Mortgage Coach Edge wizard. And you're going to start entering information here, and as we move along, you're going to go to the different tabs here. We're starting off in the client. We're going to go to goals, assumptions, affordability, products, analysis, contact, and this is the end result right here, the report that we're going to be building. Now, in this particular instance, it's going to be an individual report rather than, say, a marketing report. A marketing report would be non-specific to an individual. It'd be something that you'd want to share with a lot of different people, and perhaps even share with your realtor partners. So we're going to keep it simple for today, so please use the individual, and you can use any name that you wish. I'm going to go ahead and use a name. Let's see here. Somebody in our class today. There's a couple people in here. Use this name. Okay, so Marcy's going to be buying a house, and we're going to build a total cost analysis for Marcy. And this is we're going to be using client versus prospect, and we're going to be using that they currently own a property rather than renting at the time. Now, if I did click on the rent button rather than the own, what that's going to do for me is it's going to allow me to generate a different report, like a rent versus own. So that way you'd be able to utilize that report, the information on it, to demonstrate the benefits of being a homeowner versus a renter. And when I click on that particular button, it's going to ask me to input certain information regarding their current rental situation, so that way it'll help me in presenting the information that I want to use for being a homeowner versus a renter. So we're going to keep it simple though. This is going to be a total cost analysis report, so we're going to go ahead and have the own button clicked here. And as we go down here, you could put who it was referred by, and then again, as I was mentioning, if you want to keep, say, a realtor partner in the loop, make sure that you do include their email address right there where it says partner email. So that way they could be included and they can share the information that is being presented to the buyer or the seller on their end, and of course the borrower on your end. And then this bottom area here, the friendly name, that is, I would say, the best way for you to keep yourself organized. Name the particular report, something that's going to stand out so it's easier for you to remember, like if it's an annual review, if it's the final loan that you did for them, if it's the initial presentation, and that's what this one's going to be. I'm just going to go ahead and click in initial presentation here for Marcy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and arrow over now. You notice on this particular page is only the one arrow over. As you go through and utilize the wizard, moving from left to right, you're actually going to be able to use an arrow left or right, and you utilize the arrows basically to save the information that you just input on that particular page. So I'm going to go ahead and arrow over to the right, so that way it's going to be saved. Now, in this particular this report that we're going to be building today, it is going to be a purchase. All the other reports that you might see here are geared more towards, say, a refinance transaction. So we're going to go ahead and click on Purchase a New Home. And out of curiosity there, I'm being told by the majority of loan originators that I've been speaking with and working with here at Mortgage Coach, the type of business that you're doing, the type of loans that you're doing. Maybe you could type in the question area there. What I'm being told is that it's pretty much a purchase market right now, and very low down payments, like 5 to 10% down. If that would be helpful to build that particular type of presentation as your first one. If there's a different type of scenario that you're encountering, we could take a look at that as well. So take a moment, type something there in the question area as to maybe what type of presentation that you'd like to build for your first one. And as I mentioned, majority of people are saying, 10% down. Okay, good. 10%. Okay. It looks like 10% definitely have to be in there. Okay. So we'll do a 10% conventional, and how about an FHA loan? We'll put those together. We'll see how they compete, and you can kind of help me with some additional information as we go along. Thanks for sharing that information. Okay, so we've got purchase a new home. I'm going to go ahead and arrow over to the right again. Okay, and this is where you could gather some information. You're definitely going to want to input information here in the red field as to the potential purchase price of the home that they're looking for. If it was a refinance transaction, you would enter the actual property value here. You can enter the original appraised value when they bought the home. Again, this is going to be geared towards a purchase transaction. So I'm going to put, say they're going to buy a home for $350,000, and you could capture like what their current monthly mortgage payment is, what they anticipate their total payoff if you're going to do like a refinance transaction. These two buttons down here are very helpful for refinance transactions if you think the person might be HARP eligible. It's a quick link to each of those different programs. It doesn't share any of the information that's in Mortgage Coach with those links, but it's a way for you to get to that site very quickly. Go ahead and arrow over. Okay, you definitely want to capture some information about their current income. So we'll put, say they make $75,000. Marcy makes $75,000. We'll put that Marcy's credit is excellent, and let's see here. We'll put that she has some debt. Let's say maybe a credit card and a car payment. Maybe she has about $5,000 outstanding, and let's say that's costing maybe about $400 on a monthly basis. And since it is a purchase transaction, we are definitely listening to where that down payment's coming from. So if we're going to put 10% down, we said the purchase price is $350,000, so we better put that she has at least about $50,000 in the bank there. Okay, and unfortunately the bank these days, we're not getting a heck of a return on that interest rate, so I'll go ahead and keep it at, say, a small amount of half. And then for the tax bracket information, again, as I said earlier, Mortgage Coach Edge gives you the opportunity to put in as much information as you want or as little as you want. If you want to have a conversation with your borrower about the potential tax benefits of being a homeowner, this is where you'd be able to put information in regarding that, and we make it easy for you to help find what their potential tax bracket may be. Just click on the link there, and it'll bring you to a website that'll give you not an exact estimate, an exact idea of what the person's tax bracket would be, because you never really know all of their deductions and all the different aspects of their tax scenario. But it'll give you a pretty good idea, so that at least you can have some conversations as to what, how they could be impacted by the tax benefits of being a homeowner. And you probably want to put in a disclaimer in there that that you're not a CPA, a tax advisor, but you're going to be able to provide them with a pretty good estimate. So I'm going to go ahead and put say 25%. Now, if your company does participate with the tax credits, you can enter that information in here, the mortgage credit. Go ahead and click out of that. Okay, I'm going to arrow over. Okay, now this is a field, again, you don't have to put any information in here, but I like this particular page because it gives you an idea when you're interviewing your client as to what exactly their goals are, and you get an idea as to, as you're speaking with them, certain aspects of the dynamics of that person. So when you're asking them, what's the ideal mortgage payment, what's the maximum payment, what's kind of a home range, you're going to be able to gauge, by how they're answering that question and how, they're reacting to that question as to, who might the decision maker be if you're talking to a couple. Excuse me. You can get a lot of good information here too. If they're looking to buy a home for a family. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to capture that information and put it in the note section over here. So that way you'll be able to remember, certain things about that particular meeting, because, as you get busier and busier with business, you need to have these little keys to be able to help you remember, who you spoke with. And what you might do is, okay, wife is the decision maker, very numbers oriented, 2 kids, daughter is a dancer, son plays Little League, just little things like that that will be able to allow you to relate to your borrower on a more personal level. And it's in Mortgage Coach. It's only there for your information. It's not going to be shared. It's not going to be on the report or anything like that. So do take advantage of that so that you can remember who you've spoken with and make it a lot more personable. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and arrow over. Okay, we're going to go ahead and build our first product, and a lot of people are doing the 10% down. So I'm going to go ahead and label this about conventional. Hit the caps too. Conventional, 10%. And you can see as I'm going along, if I wanted to enter more information, it stops me right there. Okay, so you have about 12 spaces. So you want to use them as, say, descriptively as you can, and abbreviate them so that it's clear to what's going to, the type of information that you want to convey to your borrower, but you want to, use it as wisely, the spaces wisely as you possibly can. So this one's going to be conventional, 10% down, and it's not a refinance, it's a purchase transaction. And if you do have some product templates and you're using, you're doing a lot of transactions and you become a real pro at using Mortgage Coach, that's where you would have the opportunity to utilize the product template, and that would even save you more time. The copy from feature, we'll show you that here in a little bit. And this is a conventional loan, so there's no upfront premium. In this particular case, we got a purchase price that was carried over from the goals area, or the assumptions area rather, and I'm just going to take out the purchase price here for a second, and I want to show you one thing that happens when we do that. See how the exclamation point appears in the assumptions area? So what that's telling you is that information in a red field was not entered. So again, you don't have to put information in there, but it's basically alerting you that in that particular area, information was not input. Let's go ahead and go scroll over again. Okay, and we're in the product area here, so I'm going to go back to the products. Okay. So our purchase price was $350,000, and we want to do a 10% down payment. So all you have to do is click on the percentage, hit 10, and boom, it does the math for you. So you know that you're putting down $35,000. Base loan amount now becomes $315,000. Let's go ahead and enter an interest rate, say, of 4.25%. You do want to input your term in months. The first time that you maybe enter it in years, you're going to see a huge payment, and you'll be going, what happened? What did I do wrong? So it's a mistake that happens, so just remember it's in months. We'll go ahead and we'll do a fixed rate mortgage since this is your first TCA. And I'm going to go ahead and arrow over. Okay, now this is where you can enter information about the closing costs. And I was saying templates. For those of you in the training class today, does anybody have any closing costs or fee templates already built? If you can go ahead and raise your hands, that would be helpful. So if you already have fee templates, raise your hand. Okay, Mike. Okay, so there's about 2 or 3 others that do not have it. So maybe I'll spend a little bit of time there and show you what the fee templates are. If you are part of an enterprise account, you definitely want to look into the administrator and see if you can get those access to those templates. But let's go ahead and I'll show you. So I'm going to click on this. Now, if you wanted to, you could, I guess you could say, ballpark what the fees are that would be for the potential transaction that Marcy's going to be doing here. You can enter the APR related closing costs, the prepaid escrows, non-APR costs, any type of contributions. You can always manually input them in, but you want to try and do is provide them with as accurate information as possible. So you're going to want to do the fee templates. Let me go ahead and click on that. So this is going to call up, and I'm going to click over here. Now this was a conventional mortgage, so I'm going to and it was a purchase transaction. So I'm going to click on a template that I've already built, first off to show you what it looks like. Okay, so what it does is it has all the different fees that are associated with this particular transaction already built in. So what I've got here is, and I'll scroll down, all the different costs associated with this sample presentation that we're going to do. Now, if you didn't have that, let me go ahead and cancel it. If you did not have it, you could always make your own template. And I would encourage you to do that. All you have to do is, I'm going to click on Add Fee several different times. And it brings down the drop-down menu here. And you can see with the drop-down menu, it has, almost, I wouldn't say every single cost that you're going to encounter, but the majority of the common costs are fees that you're going to encounter in a mortgage transaction. So I'm just going to type in, let's see, go to the drop-down, I'll type in A. Let's find that appraisal. Oops, don't want to do the desk review just yet. Let's get the appraisal done first. There we go. So you can enter it in either as a dollar amount or a percentage. So I'll put $400 in for that appraisal. Let's do, say, processing. There it is. Okay, and you can see how easy it is. Now, you might be going, do I have to do this every time that I want to build a TCA for a particular one? No, that's why you would use this feature and save it as a template. So you click on Save as a Template. You'd have to label it as a specific type of template. Like the one that I was using in the other scenario was a conventional purchase template. If it's state specific, you would label it there. So that way it's saved so that every time that you want to build a report, and again, folks, the goal is that you're able to build these reports in 5 minutes or less. It shouldn't take you that long once you build these templates to be able to go through and input the information very, very quickly. If you got a fee that you don't want to include, just hit the trash can, boom, it disappears. So definitely take advantage. If you haven't, or you don't have access, or you haven't yet built templates, you want to do so because it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go back to the one that I was using. Okay, conventional, and then I'm going to put apply to loan. Now, when I do that, if you take a look on the next screen, those areas where I was saying that you can actually ballpark, here you can see that they've been grayed out. So now that information has already been entered, except for, say, the points and the prepaid interest. So you can go ahead and add information there. You can enter this as a negative number. So if on a particular day that rate is actually giving you some type of a discount, that's great. You can enter it there. So let's go ahead and scroll over. Oh, when I do enter that, draw your attention to it, it gives you the opportunity to add it to the loan, or if you want to keep it as, say, cash to close, you can do that as well. But you do have that feature. All you'd have to do is click that if you wanted to have it added to the loan. Let's go ahead and arrow over. Okay, now this is where you're going to enter information about, say, the monthly costs of the loan or the purchase that you're going to be doing. So say that particular property has a $45 HOA fee. You can enter it hazard insurance as a dollar figure or a percentage. I'm going to go ahead and put a dollar figure in here. I'll say their hazard insurance is $665, and I'll put their property taxes are going to be, say, $225 a month. And this other area here is if there's any type of, say, like a secondary homeowners association fee that would be affiliated with this particular property. If they're going to have to purchase any type of special insurance, if like people down in Florida, wind, flood, some type of additional insurance on a monthly basis, you could put that information here. Now, we are putting 10% down, so there is going to be some type of mortgage insurance. So we're going to need to take into account that. Now, it's let's see, we're putting 10% down, and Marcy has a high FICO. I haven't checked the Radian guidelines in a while, so I'm just going to estimate that the factor, say, is 0.35. you folks would know better than myself as to what that factor might be now. So it's going to cost her about $92 on a monthly basis. Now I want to tell the wizard when that mortgage insurance is going to come off. It's going to come off at, say, 78% automatically. And I want to share if it's going to be a declining balance, which will be more applicable to, say, like a government loan, like an FHA loan. If I want to click that it's tax deductible. And then here, if I want to collect any type of reserves, how many months of reserves for hazard, mortgage, or taxes, you can enter that information here. I'm just going to keep it simple for right now. Now, before I move on, before I arrow over, I want to build a second product. If you take a look up here in the top right, what you're going to see is that this is the first product. And look at the payment there. It's $1549.61. Now that's a PI payment. Let me arrow over, and I'll arrow back real quick. Now you can see that it's a pity payment. It's got the $1976.49 in there. So it's taken into account all the monthly costs that you just put in addition to the loan scenario that you just built. And now that's the first product that I built. So it's up here on the right. You can see the LTV is at 90%, and then the ratios that I input. Okay, so I do want to build another product, and in using the wizard for a purchase transaction, you can build up to 4 products. So you definitely want to give your borrower some different options. And what you may want to do is, they're probably going to want to see at least 2. Definitely want to see 2. But you might want to throw in a third product in there that you never know if they're going to be interested in. And it's a good way for you to kind of gauge maybe some future business. Maybe put that 15-year mortgage or that 20-year mortgage in there as a third option, even though that they may not qualify for it, but at least it gives them an idea of what that payment would be. And then when their income increases, they might want to revisit that particular product with you at some point in the future. So it doesn't hurt to add a third product in there just to be able to kind of build something, a potential business for down the road. So let's go ahead and put add another product. And I said this time we'll go ahead and we'll do an FHA loan. So we're going to put, say, we'll name this one FHA. Let me get rid of this because, again, we only have 12. We only use 12 spaces, so we're going to use them wisely and as descriptively as you can. FHA 3.5% down. Now what I'm going to do, it's not a refi. The product or the template that I had was more, say, of a fee templates that I showed you. It wasn't the product template, but if I did have one in there, I could enter that. I'm going to use the copy from feature here. This is where you're going to be using a lot of. So copy from, and it's going to copy from the loan scenario that I just built. And the reason that I'm doing that is it's going to carry over all that information for that specific loan into the new one. So I don't have to worry about the purchase price. I am going to make some changes to it because, again, it was a conventional loan. It's not an FHA loan. So one of the changes right off the bat that I have to make is that there is going to be an upfront premium. Okay, I'm going to change my down payment amount to 3.5%. And I'm hearing that rates are a little bit better for the FHA. So I'll go say 4 1/8. And it is going to be a fixed rate loan. So I'm going to go ahead and arrow over. And once I arrow over, that additional product will appear up here in the top right. So let me go ahead and do that. And there it is. Okay. So it did take into account the closing cost scenario for that conventional loan that I just built. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in from my fee templates again. Definitely take advantage of doing the fee templates, folks. Put that in there. Oops, don't want to do that one. That's all zeroed out. I don't know why that is. Go to that one. Okay, that looks a little bit more realistic. Okay, and I'm going to put apply to loan. Okay, so now I have an FHA closing cost scenario actually built in there. Maybe that's going to be a par rate, so I'm not going to have those in there. I am going to have to input what that upfront mortgage insurance premium is. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1.75, arrow over. Now I'm in the monthly cost again. By using that copy feature, it carried over all those monthly costs associated with this particular property. So again, it's just a way of trying to save you as much time as possible. Are we doing okay? Is everybody following along? Doing a good pace? If everybody's okay, if you could just go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, good. Lisa's doing good. Sheena, okay, good. All right, looks like everybody's following along. Perfect. Okay. All right, so now I do have to make some changes. So the mortgage insurance. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and click something that's more applicable to the FHA loan. Okay. Now you can see that this automatically, the checkbox appears here, calculate MI on balance, and the reason that that happens is that over the life of an FHA loan, the mortgage insurance actually declines based upon the balance of the loan. So I'm not going to enter anything in regards to the cutoff because I'm putting, say, a percentage, because as you know, with an FHA loan, with that type of down payment, it's going to be on there for the life of the loan. But I do have to tell the system, you know, how long that's going to go into effect. So I'm going to put that 360 in there, so it knows that it's throughout the life of the loan. And then you have the same buttons that we just talked about with the conventional scenario. If you want to put any type of hazard reserves, tax reserves, or mortgage insurance reserves, you could do that. Now again, I do have the option to build a third and a fourth product, but we're going to go ahead, we'll keep it simple here and build those two products for today. If you look up in the top right, now you can see a little bit of a comparison of the two types of loans. You'll get a more descriptive scenario as we go to the next page. Now we're actually in the analysis. So again, we start off in client, we move to goals, assumptions, affordability, products. Now we're actually in the analysis section. And this is where you have the opportunity, using Mortgage Coach Edge, using this wizard, to be able to clearly communicate how one loan or how the different loans are basically going to function. And you could take a look in this particular case, the conventional 10% down loan is offering a savings of $229 a month over the FHA 3.5% down. It's pretty easy to understand. Even though the rate was a little bit better on that FHA loan, the down payment is the biggest factor in what's controlling how that monthly savings is coming into effect. And you can set, if you up here in the top right, again in the monthly savings, you can set the benchmark to however you wish. It goes to the highest by default, and what I mean by that is that it goes to the product that you built with the highest monthly payment. If you wanted to flip it around, you do have the choice. Now what it's showing is that the conventional loan with 10% down and the FHA loan at 3.5%, this is costing them $229 more per month than the conventional 10%. So however you wish to be able to demonstrate that, again, this is where you're able to design the report and communicate clearly to your borrower, you know, what you're trying to accomplish for them with the different products that you're presenting to them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the short-term interest savings area. Now, this is showing that the conventional loan over a 5-year period, because right now the short-term analysis is set at 60 months. That again is a default. You can make any type of adjustments that you wish. If you wanted to make it, say, 3 years, you could do that. Tab out. So over a 3-year period, it's costing, or the conventional loan is saving them $10,000 over the FHA loan. You can make any type of adjustments with these as to how you wish to convey the information to your borrower. Over here in the bottom right quadrant, you have the long-term total interest in MI paid. That's because this button over here on the right has been clicked. I think that would be a very good button to utilize in an FHA versus conventional, because as you can see, the interest in MI for the FHA loan is quite a bit more than the conventional 10% down. But if you wanted to show, say, net worth, okay, because they've paid so much more principal here, you can see that their net worth is greater, or exactly, whoops, it's about it's a little bit less. If you take a look, the appreciation rate here comes into effect there. If you're living in a hot market, it defaults to, say, 3%, but if you have, say, a hot market and you think it's going to appreciate, say, at a rate of 10% over a 15-year period, you can see how that changes your numbers. If it's declining, I don't think you necessarily want to show that, but you could. But it defaults to, say, 3%. So you could take a look at how that information is proceeded. Now this is the principal paid that I was talking about. So in these particular scenarios, you can see that the amounts that are paid over that 15-year period. So for the conventional, you've got 109 versus 118 for the FHA loan. So this is where you basically make adjustments. This is a little bit more advanced than today's presentation, but we also offer you a reinvestment strategy, and a lot of it has to deal with what an extra payment could do to reduce, say, the freedom point or the MI cutoff point for a particular program. By making an extra payment, you can enter that information up in there, and then it also gives you different options for investing in either a savings or some other type of vehicle, maybe that a financial advisor puts in there. But it's a very powerful tool. I definitely encourage you to look into that a little bit more. But for today's purposes, we'll go ahead and we'll continue to move on. Now, you're going to be sending this report to your borrowers via email, so it's important that you capture their email address. So I'm going to go M Sandoval, just make up an email address. If the property is to be determined, in this case you can put that, or if it's specific to a property, you can put that information as well. But you have to capture the email address so that you can send the report to them. So let me go ahead and arrow over. And this is a total cost analysis. This is the report that we're going to be doing for Marcy. And we do want to show both products. If we didn't want to show a particular product, you can click out of that, and it would not be on the presentation to the borrower. Here we want to go ahead and have both products clicked. You also have the opportunity in these next pages to make any types of adjustments in the verbiage that you're going to be providing on the report. So I entered monthly information, so I better make sure that they know that the taxes and the insurance are included. I better let Marcy know that the taxes and insurance are included in the payment. I'm going to go ahead and arrow over. And then here again, you have the opportunity to change the verbiage for the different quadrants of the presentation that we went. This was the monthly savings. I left it showing that it's $229 more a month for that conventional loan, or excuse me, that FHA loan. And here you can adjust the benchmarks again. Go ahead and we'll arrow over. Okay, so as you can see, we've moved from client all the way to the final tab here, presentation, and we're now in the we were just in the select report. Now we're in the final stage, the preview. And then also, I just want to show you real quickly, you can see that when I put the cursor over these different tabs, the information that's in that particular area is available for me. So if I needed to make any changes with, say, that conventional 10%, I don't have to arrow over like 9 times. All I have to do is go down here, click on that, boom, I'm right back in that particular product. So it makes it a little bit more efficient in being able to get to the different areas that you want to for particular information. So just keep that in mind. It's a quick way to get to the different areas. Okay, we're in the preview, and you definitely, again, you want to send this to them by email. If you had to, you could print it out. You could save it as a PDF and email it to them if you had to, but by far the best way to send your report, folks, is use that email link. And then you're also going to want to be notified when that report is viewed. That goes back to, let me go ahead and go back to the home area here real quick. And in the report tracking, if Marcy had viewed that report, and you know what, I'll do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and click preview. Okay, so this is the total cost analysis. This is the report that you just built, and you can see the different areas. This is what your borrower is going to see, the different quadrants. You can see up here the summary section, monthly payments, savings over 60 months, and the prepaid, or excuse me, the 15-year, the long-term analysis in the bottom right quadrant here. If your borrower wants to find, say, the closing costs that are associated with it, or how the payment's broken down, all they'd have to do is click on that more info. There's a closing cost. If they want to see a line itemization of the costs, they'd click on the fee detail, and it breaks it down for each of the specific programs that you built. Here's a graphic presentation of how much cash that they're going to need to in order to close the loan. Remember, we put 10% down on the conventional and only 3.5% on that FHA. There's that reinvestment strategy. If you put together something for them, you direct them to that particular area. Okay, more the monthly payment has information here about how that payment's derived, APR with the mortgage insurance, again, how that specifically about that monthly payment. And then this bottom quadrant over here is very good because, I mean, you're gearing up, you're getting ready for being able to explain and talk to your borrowers with the TRID legislation that's going to be coming here in October. This is geared towards being able to show them what the costs are in that 5-year period. Click on the more info, and it shows that the costs for the conventional loan is less. You can see the total costs than the FHA, and the way that number is derived, you can take a quick look. It's the interest in MI plus the closing costs minus that tax benefit. So that's how that number was derived. Again, it's the interest in MI paid, the non-recoverable costs, closing costs for the transaction, add those two together, and then subtract the tax benefit, and then that's where you get that number. Okay, and then the bottom right quadrant, long term, okay, it shows you what is being accomplished in that 15-year period. Okay, and then you've got all your personal information right up in here. Let me show you a couple other things here real quick. So as I mentioned to you, you're going to want to send this to your borrower via email, this link. So to send this report to them, you're going to want to click on Generate Link. Okay. Now this link that just popped up is dynamic, and it's specific to this presentation. And what I mean by dynamic is that once this link has been generated and you've given it to your borrower, you can make changes in that report, and then you can let them know that you've updated it to the information that they wanted, and they only have to access it via that link that you provided, that initial link. They don't have to repeatedly go to different links. It makes it as easy as possible for them. And what you're going to want to do is to provide them with that link, and what you're going to do today is, hopefully everybody has gotten to this point, is that with that link, all you have to do is bring your cursor into it, highlight it by holding down the left mouse, or left cursor, or left button, and then right click, copy it, and then what you do is you'd send that off in an email to your borrower. And you would want to have email templates set up for your borrowers as well. Something to the effect of, maybe you met them at an open house, they came in, you introduced yourself to them, so thank you for taking the time to meet with me, thank you for visiting the house, I enjoyed speaking with you, please click on the link below I'd like to share the information with you that we discussed about, what the potential loan and the costs of the home would be for you. And then boom, that's a way for you to go ahead and send that link off to them. So what you're going to do today is you're going to do exactly those steps that we just went through, but you're going to email that link to support@mortgagecoach.com. Again, support@mortgagecoach.com. So we'd like to review that TCA for you and see how you did. So if you could take the time, it's also a way of showing our staff here is how engaged you were with the presentation. So please take a moment to do that, because they do gauge us on how well we're presenting the information by how well you've been able to complete that report. So hopefully it's been easy for you to follow along and make that happen. I do want to draw your attention to a couple more areas here as well, is that you're going to want to put a video in there. And all you'd have to do is click on Add Audio Video. So here's the report again that we just had. But down here in the bottom, you'll notice it says Record Message. So once you click on that, it's going to bring up a camera. There I am. Hi, folks. Happy Monday. And with this, you're going to be able to record a video for them and be able to explain exactly the information that you're trying to convey. You definitely want to make it personalized, and you want to be looking in the camera while you're giving your presentation. The last thing you want to do is be staring at some type of a script down here and talking and letting them stare at the top of your forehead. What I would suggest that you do is put a piece of paper behind the camera, so that way it appears that you're looking directly in the camera as you're trying to do the presentation. We do have some tips that you can utilize in doing your first video, and that's actually one of the courses that we offer in our 101 series too. Let me go ahead and click off that, and I'll show you where that information is. But that's where you would record the message, and I can't tell you how important it is to do that. I wouldn't be too worried about how you look on camera, because how you look in person is how you look in camera. So get out there and do it. And don't be afraid of making mistakes. Borrowers like to see that human factor in there rather than say like the robot effect there. So this is how you would add that video to the presentation. Go ahead and click out of here. And as I mentioned, this link, okay, what they would do, let me copy it, boom, drop it in a browser. So this is basically what your borrower is going to see on their desktop when it appears for the first time. So they'll have that disclaimer in there that they have to, basically click I understand to be able to see the report, and it would pop up, and then I should have recorded a quick little video in there while I was doing it, but the video would be right in this area. I can go back and do that again real quick. Show you how you do it. It doesn't take long at all. So you'd hit the record button, boom. There you go, folks. Showing you how to record a video for your first TCA. So let me go ahead and stop that. Boom. So now it's been updated to it. And click off that. So we're going to go back to the copy it, drop it in the new browser. So this is what your borrower will see. Comes up, I understand. There you go, folks. Showing you how to record a video for your first TCA. So go ahead. And you can see what that looks like from the borrower's perspective on how it would look on their desktop. You can send that to them so that they can view it on their mobile device as well. It looks like I'm running a little bit long on this, but let me see if I can go ahead and pull this up. And while I'm doing that, if anybody has any questions while I'm pulling this up real quick, now would be a good time to go ahead and don't hesitate. Like I said, there's no silly questions. Go ahead and fire away if there's any type of questions that you have while I'm entering this information here real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like on a tablet. looks like everybody's doing okay. All right, good. I'm glad. I tried to go at a nice, easy pace so that everybody be able to follow along. Okay, so I'm going to go to the report. Remember, I'm on the. I'm going to click on the generate link. Boom. And I have Mortgage Coach already downloaded to my tablet here. So I'm just going to type in this link here, and I only have to type in the last few digits. But if it was your borrower, they would actually get that email. They would click on it. It would prompt them to download the app, and it would go right to the presentation that we're going to go to now. So this is what your borrower would see from, say, their tablet or their mobile device. Again, click I understand. Boom, pops up. Now, because this is a Wi-Fi connection, you might remember on the desktop version there was a video that included it, and you might be going, okay, what happened to that video? Do keep in mind, since I'm using a Wi-Fi connection, it does take a little bit for everything to work, say, on the computer end, that it's been uploaded, and that's going to send it out via Wi-Fi. So it actually might happen during the few more moments that we have. It might actually pop up and want me to do it. But you can see the presentation on their tablet is going to be a little bit different than what they would be seeing on their mobile device. On tablet and mobile device is a little bit different than what they would be seeing on their desktop, but the you can still convey the same information to them. Let me just put that link in there. So desktop version, and you can see that video just now popped up. So I'll just click on OK. So well, I'll hang on. Let me put this one in the browser so you can see the two together here. So this is how your borrower is going to see the report on their desktop, this big one here. There you go, folks, showing you how to record a video for your first read of this. Go ahead. Okay, and then this is how they would see it on their mobile device. Just click OK. And that video might pop up on the mobile device as well. Again, when you first send it out and you think that somebody's going to be using a mobile device to view the report, give yourself about 10 minutes before you tell them that it's available. That way it will upload and be available for them on their mobile devices. So just a tip for you there. It does take a little longer because it's going through a different channel. It's almost instantaneous if they're on desktop to desktop. But okay, so you can see the quadrants on the desktop version, whereas on the mobile device, you kind of got broken into quadrants, but keep in mind that you can see that it's a little bit different presentation. The information's all going to be the same. If I click on summary, you can see how it's identical to the same over here. And you can actually use Edge live, and as you make changes in the actual presentation, whatever you do will be updated on either of those. So I can go back into, say, Edge, Mortgage Coach Edge, and maybe they want to say, okay, well, Bryan, I want a little bit better rate. Let me type in, say, 3.875, arrow over. Now, on their tablet, on that tablet and this one, it'll get updated. So you can see how it changed to 3.875 here. And let's see, it takes a little bit longer on the tablet, remember, like I was saying, but it will pop up here shortly. I'll just keep the cursor there and you can kind of see how long it takes to gauge yourself, so that when you're having a conversation with them and they're using their tablets or their mobile devices, as to how you should kind of gauge that conversation there. Go ahead and scroll up. There it did, it made that change. So it takes, I'd say maybe about 45 seconds longer on the tablet. So just kind of use that as a way of pacing yourself when you're presenting that information. But this gives you a really good idea of what it looks like from the different devices that they can utilize to see the presentation. So folks, looks like I've went a little bit longer with trying to get those little glitches worked out with the tablet and the other information, but I would encourage you, to dive in and start using it so that way you learn how to make it happen. Let me do this for you before we do go. I want to show you how to get help. Again, during business hours, we do have a staff that's available here, and the quickest way to get help is go to support@mortgagecoach.com, send an email off. They man that. They usually get back to you typically during business hours in half an hour or less. If it's after business hours and you need help, click on the help button and it'll bring you to our support center, and we have a variety of different videos here that you can watch. They're YouTube videos. They usually 10 minutes or less for the being able to present the information. Also, I'll draw your attention up here real quick. Access this month's event calendar. It has information about what's available for you. We have the Tuesday sales and coaching calls with our CEO Dave Savage, talking with leaders in the industry as how they're using Mortgage Coach. So they've already gone, they've already built their TCAs. They're moved on. You can take a look there at the forefront. You can see how they're using it, so that way you can take advantage of what they've done and steal their ideas and incorporate them and use them for yourself. You're more than welcome to do that. Today, of course, we have the first beginners class on Mondays. We have the 101 series and the 102 series. We have the Thursday Q&A. We have a new class that's starting out on Wednesdays, creating the mobile mentality. I would encourage you to go through that so that you can learn how to use, like I showed you with the tablet. I gave you kind of a taste of that, how to use it. But kind of I guess you could say the heart of being able to learn how to do these presentations quickly would be to attend our 101 or 102 series of courses. 101 courses are offered at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The 102 series are offered at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can see a variety of different topics. They're offered on a monthly basis, the first 3 weeks of each month, and all you have to do is click on the link to join any of those different courses that we just talked about. You can be signed up. You can pop into as many as you want. It is all included with your membership. So I realize I've gone a little bit longer than I anticipated, folks. I enjoyed working with you. Do me a favor, though, as I mentioned, click on that link. Let me go ahead and go back to the preview. Whoops, preview. Generate that link, highlight it, right-click, copy it, and send that off to support@mortgagecoach.com so we can take a look at that and share with you, any type of ideas that if there was any type of input errors or anything like that, give you some tips on it. We'll be happy to do it. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it, and you folks have a great day. Thank you. All right, bye-bye.